make that fight happen against Islam.
You think so?
It already feels like Ilia Topuria's statements are starting to get under Islam Makhachev's skin. Islam doesn't usually respond to the Georgian, but this time he fired back hard. And it wasn't just Makhachev. A lot of fans also reacted strongly to what Topuria said. Plus, Chael Sonnen is clearly siding against Ilia Topuria. Alexander Volkanovski now has his eyes on Movsar Evloev, but Dana White might not be on board. Additionally, footage has leaked online showing Diego Lopez crying backstage after his loss to Alexander Volkanovski. Another piece of footage has surfaced, showing Dana White congratulating Paddy Pimblett after his win over Michael Chandler. And yet another clip shows Paddy Pimblett visiting Michael Chandler and his family immediately after their fight. But we've got a small favor to ask. We're there. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks in advance. Ilia Topuria has officially reached a new level. The level where Joe Rogan himself invites you onto his show. For Topuria, this is a huge moment. But some fans believe his appearance on Joe Rogan's podcast is part of a bigger plan.
I would like to fight with Islam.
But if they don't give you that fight, if they give you like a #1 contender fight, when would you like to fight next?
I wouldn't fight for a #1 contender
Really?
fight.
It's the most marketable fight, right?
I don't care if Islam decides that he doesn't want to fight me. I don't care. I said, till you're gonna have to fight me. Okay? You say that you are the world champion, you're gonna keep dominating the division, all that. I'm here. You can't keep avoiding me all the time.
So you would just sit on the sidelines rather than fight someone else?
I don't think that they're gonna do that. I get the promise that I would fight for the title in my next fight. So how much time you will stop me and from the fighting? And I prove that I deserve that shot. Once I pass him, I get the title, and you put me against Paddy.
He also pointed out the UFC's past decisions. If they gave that title shot in another division to everyone, why not me? They gave that to Henry Cejudo, Conor McGregor, GSP John Jones. I proved I deserved that shot. I knocked out 2 of the all-time greats. As you know, Makhachev doesn't usually respond to Topuria. But after Khabib appeared on a podcast with Chechen journalist Adam Zubair and said he doesn't believe Topuria deserves a shot at Islam, things escalated. Khabib stated that in his opinion, Arman Tsarukyan is a more serious threat than Topuria, but Topuria's response was sharp. Khabib knows I'm the one to take the belt from Islam. That's the only reason he doesn't want Islam to fight me. Islam Makhachev quickly fired back on Twitter saying, "Don't mention my name or my coach until you've beaten a top 5 opponent in my division." But then he deleted the tweet. That move didn't go unnoticed. Fans exploded online, splitting into 2 camps. Some said, why did he delete it? It wasn't even bad, he was right. Makhachev wants Arman to fight Topuria while he waits for the Bilal versus Jack Della Maddalena winner. Then he'll move up to welterweight. Khabib is playing chess. Islam give me King Kong but not Topuria. Ilia should fight Paddy, or Arman says, the guy who got a title shot without beating a top 5 opponent himself. Islam fought Bobby Green for the title, LOL. The double standards are crazy. But here's the thing. This is all part of the game. Topuria knows what he's doing. He's not disrespecting Makhachev personally. He's not bringing up religion or family like McGregor once did. He's keeping it professional, just playing the mental game to get under their skin, hoping it'll pressure them into accepting the fight. Makhachev, on the other hand, has his eyes on a different goal.
Next for the title.
That's gonna happen.
I would like that to happen if Bilal wins, but that's an if. Jack Della Maddalena is a bad motherfucker. He's good, man. That guy's good.
Even if he wins, they're gonna make that fight happen against Islam.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, if Jack Della Maddalena wins, then Jack is the new welterweight champion. And, maybe he fights Islam. That makes a lot of sense.
For example, Arman Tsarukyan is confident that Topuria's next fight will definitely be for the title.
Topuria is coming up.
Yes.
What if they stick him in front of you?
I think he got to fight for the belt for sure.
He is.
Yeah.
All right. Just dropping his 145.
But do you think the UFC gonna give him the title fight?
I think he left 145 because of that. Because they said, okay, we're gonna give you title fight. Islam doesn't want to fight him because if he wins him, people are gonna say, okay, you again beat the 145 fighters and he's not #1 contender. If Islam beats me, and then I think he's done with division. He beat everybody. Just he gotta beat me, and then people can say that.
Beef is about as straightest shooter as you're ever going to find. I'm telling you, when he's mad at me, he tells me. When he's mad at someone else, he tells you. He doesn't hide. So when you hear him say things publicly, take it as fact. This isn't him posturing. This isn't these guys trying to raise the price on the fight or anything. This is a true emotion, a true feeling, because honestly, that's how these guys operate. Islam has title fight victories, but they're Volkanovski, huge name of the featherweight. Dustin Poirier, name, right? And he probably felt the love after Renato Moicano, right? On short notice. So of his 4 fights, there are a lot of situations where he just didn't probably feel the love. And if you're trying to build a legacy, you got to feel that love. The update should not feel good for people that support the idea that Ilia Topuria should fight next. I'm just being honest with you, because I'm telling you, I know these dudes. I know these dudes, and I know when they talk to you, you might as well listen because they're telling you the truth. Love it.
Meanwhile, Topuria just keeps rising louder, sharper and more dangerous with every move he makes. But now Chael Sonnen is claiming that Ilia didn't vacate his belt. He was actually stripped of it.
Realize the official tale is to be told that Ilia vacated the title. I am aware that that's how we need to tell this as fight fans. But if you weren't told that as fight fans, you just went and looked at what happened, you would have no choice but to realize he was stripped. There was nothing about the way that played out, including the fact that he was no longer champion. He was no longer champion on Saturday night when the bell rang. Are you aware of that? It might seem like a small detail, but if you look at what happened, he was stripped. Now, they've all decided to go along to get along and use a word vacated, and it does matter. It matters to the fighters for whatever silly reason. I'm just sharing that it does matter. I'm not willing to play along. He didn't vacate that belt. Ilia got stripped.
But Chael Dana says otherwise, that it was Topuria himself who chose to vacate the belt so he wouldn't hold up the division.
Did he vacate the belt, or did you guys say, if you're moving to lightweight, then we don't want to hold up the featherweight division?
No, he did that. He said, I've done everything I can do here. I'm ready to move up. And he vacated it. He said, I shouldn't be holding up anybody's opportunities. And, you know, it's always, I respect when guys do that.
Terrence McKinney doesn't think Ilia Topuria is ready for lightweight. He believes Topuria is too small.
Ilia moving up to 55. What do you rate his chances if the Islam fight happens?
He's getting dominated. I hate to say it.
You think so?
I just think just the height and his frame is just, it's not big enough for the weight class.
Why? Really?
Yes, that's how I feel.
How important do you think that is?
It's huge, because Michael Chandler, you see him, he's jacked, you know what I mean? So he's like one of the other people. But once you get up the weight class, like the game's so evolving. People are like 6'3" now. Look at Ignacio. Look at Joel Alvarez. These guys are itching towards the top of the division. So, like, you gotta have some height.
Charles Oliveira said he'd approach a potential fight with Ilia Topuria the same way he approaches every tough matchup. He respects Topuria and thinks he's a tough guy, but reminded everyone that lightweight is a very, very tough division.
Eso de que os enfrentéis, ¿cuál sería tu predicción para esa pelea contra Ilia?
Sí, se essa luta acontecesse, caminharia para frente como sempre caminhei com todos. Sim, sabendo que é um cara duríssimo, porém, a categoria do peso leve é uma categoria muito complicada. Tem esse cara que tem a patada muito dura, tem um jiu-jitsu muito bom, pero caminharia para frente o tempo inteiro em busca do nocaute para poder mostrar que minha categoria é uma categoria muito difícil. Pero, como falei para você, tenho todo o respeito do mundo pela pessoa que é e pelo grande campeão que é.
After defeating the dangerous rising star Diego Lopez, Alexander Volkanovski now has his eyes on Movsar Evloev, but Dana White might not be on board. According to Volkanovski, Evloev has earned his shot. He's been calling for it for a while, and Alex, believes it would be a meaningful win, especially if he's the first to hand the Russian his first career loss. But even he admits he's not sure Dana White will be sold on the matchup, and interestingly, Evloev agrees. He's also doubtful the UFC boss will greenlight the title fight.
I've got to ask you about what's next. Obviously, everyone will talk about Movstar fight. I don't know how exciting or how excited people are about it. The Ilia fight, I'm sure, is one you'd love to run back. Where is your headspace at the moment about what you would like to do next? Because there are plenty of options for you.
Yeah, well, I guess got to talk to the UFC. You know, I did mention Mosvar. He's undefeated. I like the fact that he's undefeated, and you know, still one of the younger generation again, right? Like undefeated. I think for the legacy that would still mean so much. But you're right. Is that what the fans want? Is that what the UFC wants?
Does it give you hope though that Volkanovski is saying like, I do want to fight him. I like that he's undefeated, and I want to.
I believe that if we ask Volkanovski, he will fight because he's real champ. But we don't know if UFC need it.
Why do you think they're not just like more excited? Do you think it's because you haven't finished anyone in the UFC yet? Do you think that's what's holding you back?
I don't know. Maybe because the only thing they can talk is just I have no finish. So.
Yeah. It's literally the only thing that can be.
So now the question is, will the UFC give Evloev his chance, or will Volkanovski be forced to wait for a bigger name?
Alexander Volkanovski, the first fighter 35 years older to become champion in 125 division in the UFC. This is it's not frustrating, but there's been other athletes outside of the UFC who've done it before. Yeah, but that just shows you how big the UFC is. Like, nobody recognizes any other organization, but that is a big feat. Being over 35, I think I'd done it against Adriano when I did the flying knee, was 36 years old, and then I defended it at 37, I think. When did I fight him? 37, but anywho, yeah, absolutely amazing.
Additionally, footage has leaked online showing Diego Lopez crying backstage after his loss to Alexander Volkanovski at UFC 314.
Hermanos, vamos a empezar. Llegamos muy rápido, ¿estamos de acuerdo? Va. Ya hemos estado aquí, ¿te acuerdas? Ya hemos estado aquí, hermano. Y ve hasta dónde nos hemos levantado. Va. Yo, siempre, ya sabes, hermano, siempre estamos aquí contigo, toda la vida. Toda la vida. Toda la vida. Si quieres sacarlo, sácalo, va.
Another footage has also leaked showing Dana White congratulating Paddy Pimblett after his win over Michael Chandler.
Like that? Wow. You like that? So is it, didn't I? That's how we roll, man.
Everybody keeps doubting you, man.
Everyone, and then we prove them wrong every time. Congrats.
Another piece of footage leaked online showing Paddy Pimblett visiting Michael Chandler and his family immediately after their fight at UFC 314.
What's up, shit? Thank you very much. Hope you good, little man. Paddy. Hey, Paddy, come on. Paddy. Thank you very much. Again, mate, thank you for stepping up. I appreciate it. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Michael Chandler posted an emotional message after his loss to Paddy Pimblett. He wrote, "There are really no words to describe the pain and disappointment you feel. You just live in it. Let it run its course and take what's left. From there, you rebuild. The best you can do is move forward with confident expectancy and pride in the effort. One thing is certain, I can rest, knowing I prepared the best I could, and I alone was responsible for my shortcomings in that octagon. My team prepared me. The UFC gave me the opportunity. I stepped into the ultimate proving ground, ready, bested but never beaten, never out of the fight. Still in pursuit. And this picture sums up how I feel and what truly matters. Bruised, bloodied, and heartbroken. But I have my soulmate by my side and 3 little hands to hold. The future is still bright. Walk on. See you at the top."
A lot of people gonna trash on me because I'm trashing Michael Chandler, but in reality, McGregor destroy his career, brother. I think that was fucking McGregor's fault, brother.
Yeah.
You know, 2 years without fighting, waiting, brother.
Plus at his age, you know.
Yeah, but you cannot count on McGregor, you know. He's talking about being president, you know. He's talking about the fucking president of Ireland, bro. Imagine that.
And Gary goes off on Carlos Pates after watching old footage. He calls him a quitter. He's not a fighter, Gary said bluntly.
Been your biggest challenge to date as a fighter, as a UFC fighter?
To be honest, there's nothing to really complain about too much apart from the knee injury. But I think that was a blessing in disguise. Anyway, I feel like I learned so much from that, and I came back way better. Since I came back, I've been gone 3-0 with 3 first-round knockouts. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't good at the time, but I learned a lot from it.
What about securing fights?
That's definitely tough. The timing between fights is not something that I'm too keen on. I'd like to be more active, but I guess that's the way it works at the top. I don't know. I've never been in this spot before, so activity lately has been a bit of a problem. But I feel like it's all going to work out pretty good.
Do you ever get UFC nerves at all?
I'm always nervous to fight somebody. It's not the most natural of things to meet somebody in an octagon. Fly out somewhere, put a pair of gloves on, take your shirt off, have a fight with somebody who you've never met before, or don't even know really, in front of millions of people. It's, you know, it's pretty scary stuff. So yeah, I'm nervous every time.
Finally, what motivates you to keep pushing?
I want to be the best. I want to be the best in the world, and I want there to be no debate about it. I want everyone to think about heavyweight MMA and think about me and think that I'm the guy, and think that there's no debate that there's anybody else close to me. That's my motivation.
If you enjoy our videos, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate it.